Hello everyone and welcome to the stream and welcome to a new streaming week. That is right, ladies and gents. Today is Wednesday, the 17th of February 2021. I am Darkside Phil. I welcome you here to my first stream of the streaming week, my first major stream of the day. A great week ahead. I have a lot to talk about on pre-stream today. Several hours of pre-stream to get through. So I hope you guys will not... Several hours, yes. I hope you guys will not interrupt me so that I can just concentrate on what I need to talk about. I have about 700 topics to talk about today. Not really. But it is going to be an exciting week for sure. Because of the fact that we're finishing some stuff. We're starting some new stuff. We got people who are now able to participate in viewer interaction events, which are always great. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited too. Okay? Now, before I get into what we're doing this week, before I get into all of the stuff coming up, let's talk about two things that I did this morning on the pre-stream. First of all, you are now able to nominate games for the upcoming Viewer's Choice playthrough event. Alright, you can do this by typing ! Viewer's Choice into the stream chat, or if you wait about every 20 minutes or so, automatically the command will populate itself. What do? Well, you click on the link, you go to my forums at thekingofhate.com, and you post up games. Now, the criteria are publicly posted there, and I'm not going to go over these criteria every day, but being that this is the very first day that I created this ability to nominate, I will review the rules. Rule number 1, the game you nominate must be readily available either on some kind of a digital platform such as PlayStation Store, Nintendo Store, Xbox Live, or Steam. And it must be a game that is going to be able to be played without insane amount of expense and problems. So, for example, you nominate a game that's available on PlayStation Store that I can play emulated on my PS3, great. You nominate a current game that's out for a modern console, great. But if you go back in time, I want to see Superman 64. Well, is Superman 64 readily available digitally on any Nintendo console currently? If not, then I can't play it. You know? Same thing like an obscure PlayStation 1 game. If it's not digital, I can't play it. I don't have a PS1 that I can capture from. I'm not going to go out on Amazon and or eBay and try to buy some expensive disc, but who knows if it even works, right? To pop into a PS1 and see if it works. I'm not going to do that, okay? Trust me, there's thousands upon thousands of games out there that are readily available to play. I don't need to be playing ones that are incredibly hard to get working, okay? So, that's number 1, okay? Number 2, the game cannot be an incredibly lengthy JRPG at all. I will accept a few exceptions, like for example, if it's a shorter RPG, maybe you want to see me replay a classic RPG I played before, like Chrono Trigger or Earthbound. Those games aren't super long or anything, okay? But I don't want people nominating insanely long RPGs anymore. For example, I just played Fire Emblem Three Houses last year. That game took me like 5 months to beat. I'm about to start Divinity Original Sin 2. That's probably going to take me about 14 months to beat. So, I just don't have the means and the time to be playing these incredibly drawn-out JRPGs anymore. I'm sorry, I'm a variety streamer. I don't just sit here and play one game constantly. And when these games are so goddamn lengthy and they take so long to beat, people lose interest, including me. So, can't do that. Alright? If I'm going to play one of those games, I'll choose it myself. And, you know, it'll be through a process that we all agree, okay, here's a time frame I can do it. It's not going to be via a viewer's choice event like this. Okay? In fact, I can tell you right now, there's a few I have in mind. Like I've told you guys, I wanted to play Lost Odyssey for the longest effing time, and I never did it. That would be one I would consider myself to play in the future. But it's not going to be eligible for this particular event. Okay? Also, one final thing. Games that I've told you guys repeatedly I'm not playing, for example, multiplayer exclusive games, are not eligible. The point of the Viewer's Choice event is to do a full narrative-based playthrough of a game on stream. A game that normally I wouldn't be playing in the midst of my schedule of other games. So, multiplayer makes no sense. That's not what this is supposed to be about, me jumping into a multiplayer game. Okay? Also, games that I've repeatedly told you guys I'm not playing. Street Fighter V, Code Vein, games that I told you I absolutely hated and I never want to go back to, like Donkey Kong 64. No, those games are not eligible, okay? If you guys nominate anything that's not eligible, I'm simply put just not going to consider it, and I'm going to eliminate it from the running. Alright? So how does this event work? Well, you guys are going to nominate these games right now, likely for about a week and a half to 2 weeks, probably till the end of February, okay? Then we're going to take a look at the games that you guys have nominated over that course of time. We're going to look for the ones that were the most nominated. So that means more than one person nominated the game, okay? For example, 5, 6 people nominate the same game. Chances are it's going to get into this final round of qualifications because so many people wanted it, all right? So the more people that nominate the same game, the better. What we're then going to do is formulate a poll based off of, number 1, the games that were most nominated, and quite frankly, number 2, games I'm interested in. If 17 people nominate some weeb game that I've never heard of before and I don't want to play, I'm not going to play it. But at the same time, if 17 people nominate a game and I'm like, oh, I'm intrigued by it, I've never heard of it, but maybe I'll give it a shot, then I will play it, you see? So it has to be something that makes sense and is interesting to me. I know I'm not going to force myself to play Barbie Horse Adventures because a bunch of people gathered together and thought as a trolling joke that they would nominate the game. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So, there you go. That's the deal. The poll will likely go live in early March, probably run for about a week, and then we'll determine what is that game. That's the next Viewer's Choice event game, and then it'll begin. It'll become part of the regular rotation. Okay? Now, I'm very excited to see what you guys nominate, because since I'm eliminating the lengthy JRPGs, right, maybe there'll be a chance for other games to shine that haven't had a chance to be played. Games that, likely would be pretty entertaining playthroughs, but I don't even know anything about these games. Who knows? All right, I'm very excited to see what turns out to be the games that you guys nominate. So please get at it. All right, you start now, and like I said, running for about probably till roughly the end of March. So go get to it. Okay. Now also, at the very same time, I have also launched Ask the King and the ability for you guys to post up questions for that upcoming show. That show is currently scheduled for the first week of March. Originally, it was going to be late February. At this point, with the amount of games I'm still juggling and everything going on right now, it probably doesn't make sense to do it in late February, so I'll do it the first week of March. All right? Please post up your questions. You can do that either by typing !Ask the King into the stream chat, or every 20 minutes or so, the command will auto-populate itself in the stream chat for you guys. Very similarly to the Viewer's Choice event, the more questions I get, the better the event will be, such as the more nominations I get, the better that event will be. You see what I mean? And when you post up your question on my forums here, you have a much higher chance of getting it answered on the show than if you say that day try to post up something in the stream chat or something like that. Okay? So please do. This is my bi-monthly Q&A show. Last one I did was on Christmas, so it'll be a little bit longer than bi-monthly at this point. I like doing the show, but as I've told you guys recently, if we feel the show no longer needs to exist because I talk with you guys every day and I answer your questions live, then we don't have to do it anymore. But overwhelmingly, the last couple times that I said, I'm interested in maybe not doing it anymore, people exploded. Said, no, it's one of your longest running shows. You have to keep doing it. So please keep doing it. So I have. But the question is, how many people will actually post up meaningful questions, and will it be a good show? Let's find out. This very well could be the final Ask the King if we don't get good questions and the show isn't good. So let's see what happens. Okay? All right. Alrighty then. Very good. Oh, shit. Hold on a second. I think that my thermos is sticky. And I don't know why. The bottom is sticking to stuff. That's not good. Nothing worse than a sticky thermos, man. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the deal. 2 events launching this week where you guys can nominate stuff and or post up questions. It's all interactive stuff. I love doing interactive stuff with you guys, so please, by all means, participate. These events hinge on your participation to make them good. Okay? All right. Now, let's talk about what you guys can expect for the week. Then I'll talk a little bit about my day off yesterday. And then we'll move into a little bit of gaming news. And then we'll do shout-outs for your contributions. Sound good? So, this week is going to be a very interesting streaming week. A good variety of stuff coming up this week, including finally, conclusion of a game that's been going on way too long. Start up a game you guys wanted for a ridiculously long time. So, a lot of good stuff happening this week. Okay, first of all, today, I'll tell you. Today, it is time for more Mario 3D World. I'm very excited. So far, I've really enjoyed this playthrough. I've done 2 streams of it. We've gotten pretty far. We're in World 6. The game has apparently 12 worlds, but half of them are like hidden. Like, I think the game has 8 regular worlds and then 4 hidden worlds. I am going for 100% completion. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to do it, but I am attempting it. People are telling me when you do the secret worlds, they're quite challenging and fun. I played Super Mario 3D Land on a Nintendo 3DS, and I actually did fully 100% that game, and I loved doing it. So I'm excited to try to do that with this one as well. We'll see how it goes. So that's today's major stream, trying to keep the ongoing and steady progress. All right, and having a good time here. Having a good time with Mario. All right. Now, while we're doing that, later on during the stream, there's going to be a Nintendo Direct. Okay? And I think it's like a 50-minute long Nintendo Direct. Well, I'm still going to be streaming. I'm going to take a break at some point, and then I'm going to continue to stream. So I'm not going to be watching the Nintendo Direct live or whatever, but I think we're all excited to hear what's going to be in that Direct, because there has not been a Nintendo Direct in a year and a half. And basically the reason they're doing this is because apparently they have lots of news to announce about a variety of games coming out this year for Nintendo Switch, which obviously is big news because, to our knowledge, there's like nothing coming out for Nintendo Switch. I was actually talking about this recently, that this seems to be a dead year for Nintendo, which is weird because it's the 35th anniversary of Zelda and the 35th anniversary of Metroid, and there's like nothing happening. Like, what is going on that there would be nothing happening at all with Nintendo this year? Why is it a dead year for the Switch? So it seems like Nintendo heard me and immediately said, no, we're doing a Direct to announce a bunch of new stuff. Now, some people have told me to temper my expectations. They feel that maybe this Direct will just be things such as expansions for Smash Brothers and the like, while others are like going crazy. No, there's going to be a 35th anniversary collection of Zelda. There's going to be Breath of the Wild 2, Mario Kart 9, Pikmin 4, Metroid Prime, new Metroid Prime coming out. They're going to announce a new Donkey Kong series. And on top of all of that, the Nintendo Switch is finally going to have a new version that has better graphics than both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X combined. Okay. Well, maybe that's going a little far. Maybe some people, sadly, are just going a little bit too far with their expectations for this Nintendo Direct. But this is pretty much par for the course. These people go crazy. Okay? They go nuts. So, I honestly don't know what to expect from this Nintendo Direct. I'll be honest. Here's my expectations and what I would like. I would like them to, at the very least, do something Zelda this year. Whether it's a remaster of old games or Breath of the Wild 2, whatever it may be. Something Zelda for the anniversary would be nice. Honestly, I would love Mario Kart 9. I was just telling you guys this the other day. I was saying Mario Kart 8's been out for the longest effing time. It came out for Wii U a million years ago. And I want to play Mario Kart, but I'm not rebuying the same game I've already played. I want a new one. So I would love that. And outside of that, I mean, any other news in regards to like Mario games and stuff, I would like. You know, I don't care about Smash. Metroid Prime, meh. I mean, eventually, I'm sure I'll get excited for it, but I don't really care that much about Metroid Prime. You know what I mean? Like, for me, when it comes to Nintendo, I'm not super hype about a lot of the franchises. But Zelda, for sure, I'd like. Mario Kart, I would be very excited for. So I hope we get something of those. If nothing of those, then I don't really care. Seriously, I just don't care. Okay, so we'll see what happens. That is happening during the live stream today. I'm sure while I'm playing Mario, you guys will bombard me with news of what they're actually announcing during my Mario stream. Okay? Later tonight, my friends, it will be Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War on the late stream, which is going to be fun. We've been playing this recently and implementing the channel points prediction / wagering system. People absolutely love doing this during multiplayer games. Will Phil get a certain amount of kills during the game? Will he have a positive kill-death ratio? Will his team win? Will he get a certain amount of knife kills during a round? And when we do this, people gamble and win or lose tons of the channel or penne points and really love that interaction. I love it too. So I'm very excited for that later tonight. Okay? Hope to see you tonight on the late stream, 6:45 p.m. for that. Tomorrow, it's a major stream of Immortals Phoenix Rising, and judging from the last stream that we did of the game, it looks like we're probably going to be doing a major dungeon and then wrapping up the whole Grove of Kleos area, which was the area for Athena the goddess. Looks like we're probably going to finish her quest line. And then there's only basically one major area on the entire map left. And I don't know what's going to happen there. I think it's called like the mountain or the Peak of Kings or something like that. I don't know what's there. It looks amazing when you see it from afar, but I don't know what's actually going to be there to do. I guess we'll find out. So essentially, we may be heading into the end game. We'll see. Tomorrow night will be my weekly late night stream of Yakuza 7. On this stream, it is not about the gameplay at all. All I'm doing is grinding in an underground dungeon to gain levels so that we can take on the optional super dungeon. Last time around, I gained over 10 levels, which was great. I look forward to doing more of that tomorrow night. But that stream is a lot about interaction, fun, having cool conversations, and yes, sometimes even singing, because you guys have been asking me to sing karaoke songs and stuff. So it's been fun. All right, it's been fun, and I hope that you guys will join me for that tomorrow night. And then finally, ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Friday is the day. Ladies and gentlemen, after over 3 months, Friday is the conclusion of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Yes, finally. First thing we're doing on Friday is we're jumping back into Asgard and finishing up that plot line. From what I understand, it's just a tiny bit of story and like a final boss fight, and it's over. All right. Then finishing the game. Now, from what I understand about that, there's a little bit more with Ivor. Then there's actually some stuff that apparently ties in with the modern day plot line, and then you go back to Ivor for the conclusion. So it looks like we're going to finish the game on Friday. Finally, it's about goddamn time we're finishing this game. And this is momentous because, number one, finally the playthrough will be done. But number two, we'll be able to move on to other bigger and better things, of which we're going to talk about in just a moment. Okay? Friday night, it's going to be my weekly Throwback Street Fighter session. 2 hours of old school Street Fighter fighting game fun on the late stream. As always, it's always fun to do. But in addition to that, also, on Friday, I'm supposed to be receiving my physical copy of Lego Indiana Jones. No, I'm just kidding. Of Divinity Original Sin 2. Yes, it's supposed to be coming on Friday. Why the physical copy? Because the physical copy on PS4 costs $20, brand new, unsealed copy on Amazon, while the digital copy on PlayStation Store is full $60. Why? Because Sony is a bunch of idiots. There's no one who's going to fucking buy that when you could get it for $20 physical copy. I mean, you have to be a moron to think that anyone would buy that. So, there you go. It's coming on Friday, supposedly. All right? Saturday. More Mario 3D World. And that'll be likely paired with... Now I forgot what I'm doing. Is it Immortals? I forgot. I know I wrote the schedule. I forgot what the exact weekend schedule is. But basically, you're going to see more Mario. You're going to see a major stream of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War on a Sunday. All right? You'll have more night streams. Likely it'll be... like more Immortals and stuff like that. And then, very, very strong probability, Divinity Original Sin 2 will start this week, likely Monday. All right? Now, if we have some issues finishing Assassin's Creed, then maybe not, but I'm thinking Divinity Original Sin 2 will likely start on Monday. Okay? Finally. And then that will become a regular playthrough. That'll be balanced with Immortals. That'll be balanced with Mario. Okay? There you go. That's what it is. It's Bowser's Fury. Thank you, Expandong. I forgot about Bowser's Fury. Yeah, more Bowser's Fury on Saturday night to continue on that playthrough, which is pretty damn unique. Short, but very unique and interesting and fun so far. So I hope you'll join me Saturday night for that. Okay? All right. So that's basically the streaming week. Finishing up Assassin's Creed, starting Divinity, continuing on with games like Call of Duty, Immortals, Mario 3D World, some more Bowser's Fury over the weekend. And then the weekly stuff of Yakuza and Street Fighter. Good variety for sure. Love being a variety streamer and doing different stuff every day. Very fun. Okay. Let's see. Outside of that, just trying to think if there's anything else in particular I want to mention, streams-wise. I don't think so. I think that pretty much covers everything that I wanted to talk about in regards to the streams. I think we're covered, okay? All right. Just trying to 100% confirm in my head. So yeah, okay. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one other quick thing, okay? In the coming months to months, there may be some minor tweaks to my streaming schedule. There may be some minor tweaks to other stuff around here. For example, there may be some minor tweaks to when Jasper can actually be on my streams. Currently, Jasper is available on my streams certain weeknights when my wife is at work, right? Sometimes he can come in here and hang out with us. And people ask, oh, where's Jasper? When's he coming in? Stuff like that. There may be some adjustments to that because my wife is currently in the process of adjusting her work schedule. She may actually be going on different shifts. And if that happens, then that means that there'll be different days when she's home, different times when she's home. This also may mean that my day off, currently my day off for the week is on a Tuesday. That may change in the coming weeks to month. Or I don't know exactly. We have no idea yet 100% when things are going to change or if they're going to change. But we may have some schedule changes. It may be that my day off is no longer Tuesday. It may be that maybe Jasper will be here different days or available to come into the office on different days. It may actually be that he can come in here during daytime sometimes, okay? Which he never does. He never comes in during the early streams. He only comes in at night streams right now, but maybe he can come in during daytime streams at some point, okay? So I'll let you know once, any changes actually are going to take place. I'll let you guys know. Right now, things are completely up in the air and in transition. So I don't know yet what to tell you guys about, what's going to happen. But I figured I'd give you the heads up because a lot of people ask things like, when's Jasper going to be here and everything? Right now, it's like, I don't even know. I honestly can't answer that because I don't know what's going to happen with scheduling and everything. And yes, it is possible that I will not have Tuesdays off at some point. We'll find out. Okay? So more info to come. I probably won't be talking about this too often. I'm just giving you an early heads up. When more info actually does become available, that's likely when I will tell you about what's going on with this. Okay? Fair enough? I hope that sounds good to you. And I hope it makes sense. All right. Let's see here. Excuse me. So, let's see. I guess that's it. Let's get down to the next segment of the show, everyone. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for everything. Thank you for your ongoing support. Thank you for allowing me to be an independent content creator. What that means is that, unlike many other full-time streamers and content creators in the modern day, I am fully independent. I do not have any sponsors, so I don't have to advertise any products or shill to you on a stream. I do not have any exclusivity agreement with any website that just because I'm part of their site and I stream exclusively there that I get paid a flat rate to do it, like a lot of other big streamers get. I am fully independent, which means when I stream, I can say whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. I don't have to pull any punches. Don't have to worry about losing a sponsor because I criticized a certain game or said a certain thing. I don't have to worry about, oh my god, I'm under a non-disclosure agreement with this company, and therefore I can't criticize their game. When I'm playing games, I can be 100% honest and upfront with you about my feelings at all times because of the kind of content creator that I am, and I never basically sold out or became one of these guys who's completely reliant on this supplementary income. That's because you guys crowdfund me and allow me to do what I love for a living, okay? And that's damned awesome that that's the case. And I say thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you some more for allowing me to do what I love for a living. Seriously. I absolutely love live streaming. I love interacting with you guys on a daily basis. I love playing games every single day and having a good time with you. And it's really because of you guys supporting the streams via the crowdfunding that I am allowed to do what I love. So, thanks for over 12 years of support. Thank you for coming out and supporting the streams. If you like the content, if you like me as a person, if you like everything I do and you want to see it continue, please, by all means, continue supporting the streams in the various methods that you can. What are those methods? Well, you can cheer with bits. You can subscribe to my channel. You can gift a subscription to my channel to somebody else. Lucky recipient, someone else maybe who's in the stream chat. Or you can tip me. All of those things help me out tremendously. Sometimes in different ways, but they all help me, and they're all positive ways to support me as a streamer. Okay? Now, before you even consider contributing, I want to say something up front. Contributions are not mandatory. Contributions are not expected. Contributions are completely optional. My streams are free on Twitch and always will be. It's all about having a fun with games, having a good time, relaxing, and doing basically, entertaining sessions. That's what it's all about. That's what it's always been about. That's why I started making videos on YouTube back in 2008. I did it for 2.5 years before I ever even monetized a gameplay video because I didn't care about that. I was just there to have fun, man. It wasn't until I lost my office job that I even considered trying to turn my hobby into something that I could make money on. And here we are over 10 years later. The rest is history, man. I'm still here. I'm still pertinent. I feel the reason I'm still pertinent is because of the reasons you tell me. Because I've stayed true to myself. Because I haven't necessarily sold out and changed and become one of these shills like a lot of these other content creators. And instead, I can just sit here and have a good time and be honest and be my real self with all of you. And because of that, I've stood the test of time. I am here over 12 years later. Still pertinent, still making content, and still having a great amount of support. Thank you guys for that, all right? So, if you do like the content, by all means, if you have the means to contribute, please do. And thank you in advance, because that's what keeps me going. That's literally my income, is your crowdfunding, okay? Now, all that being said, there's a few things that I like to tell you guys to help you out, because I care about you. And I don't want anyone being the subject of online harassment as a result of anything that happens on Twitch. So, a few pointers. First of all, if you're going to be a regular attendee of my streams, if you're going to be a regular viewer, and you're going to be someone who's going to contribute, I would strongly recommend, guys, that you disassociate your online persona from the name that you use on Twitch. And what I mean by that is, let's say, on Twitch, you're going to have an account name. Don't use your real name in real life. Don't use a name you already use on another social media account like Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or, I don't know, TikTok. Yes, all the kids are into TikTok now, right? Oh, boy. Anyway, don't do it. If you use the same name and it carries over to other networks, someone could potentially try to find you on those other networks and harass you just because you're doing something over here. And that's not what you want, okay? You definitely don't want that to happen. In addition, I strongly recommend you turn off open direct messages here on Twitch. Sadly, people will harass you with open direct messages. They'll send you nasty messages. They'll do stupid shit. You don't want that. I've had my direct messages turned off for many years. I have it so that only people on my friends list can send me one, and it stops a lot of harassment, okay? Now, in addition to that, if you are considering tipping me today, which is a great way to contribute when you tip me, number one, it helps me in the short term. It allows me to use those funds to do things like buy games and equipment, pay bills, pay taxes, all kinds of stuff in the short term. But in addition, when you tip me, we have tip goals that we can reach. For example, if we raise $50 in tips on today's stream, I put on the Gunner glasses. For $100, you guys get to pick a vest for me to wear. What vest did we wear the other night? Oh, shit. It was camo, wasn't it? Yes, I wore the camouflage vest. So that means today all vests are eligible except for the camo vest, okay? And in the incredibly rare occurrence that we would double the tip skull, which almost never happens, I will wear 2 vests at once, which looks incredibly stupid, but I did it last week, and you guys thought it was silly, so I've said that'll be the double tip skulls. I will wear 2 vests at once if I happen to double the tip skull, which never happens, by the way, very rarely. So, all those things happen if you tip me and we hit goals, see? So there's good reasons to tip me, but if you are going to tip me, I would ask that you go the extra mile and you create a verified PayPal account. In fact, I'm not even kidding you. This morning, Alfred Aponte supposedly tipped me, and I have to confirm that Alfred Aponte actually is here and did tip me because it says that it was him, but it says that his account's unverified. You see? Now, what does that mean? Let me explain. If you have a verified PayPal account, that means that you have linked your PayPal account to your personal information. For example, you put in your bank account number. You put in your actual name and address and personal information, ID information, and prove to them that you are who you say you are. Why is this important? Because once you've proven your identity, you now essentially would say, I am vouching that this is me and everything that I do on PayPal is real. All right? So, for example, this morning, Alfred Aponte just tipped me. Thank you, Alfred Aponte, for the tip. However, because your account is unverified, I don't know if it's really you or not. So I have to sit here and ask you on the stream, Alfred, did you really tip me? You see? Now, I don't even know if Alfred's here. Is Alfred Aponte here on the stream? I hope he is, and I hope this tip is valid. But you see, the problem is that because this came in unverified, I don't know if this is really him or not. See the problem? If it comes in as a verified tip, I know it's real. I know no one's impersonating anyone or anything, and I know that I can trust that tip, and I don't have to worry about people trying to do chargebacks and the like. Okay, so that being said, all right, I asked that you would go the extra mile and verify the tips. This is going to be great because, number one, I won't have to sit here and try to verify a tip on a stream to see if it's real or not. And number two, you get also added protections when you actually do this. If you're ever going to buy something off of eBay or some other transaction online, you'll get what's called buyer and seller protection. Someone tries to scam you, you'll get your money back. You see? So it makes sense for you to do it regardless of tipping me. So yeah, please, if you can, please verify your PayPal account. I really need the help. You know, I've had so many fake tips come in. And in particular, I mean, let me give you some examples here. Last stream, Fall Guys, I got a bunch of fake tips. If it weren't for the whole verification process, there were a few that might have gotten through the cracks, and I would not have realized that they were fake. So I'm glad that this process happens, okay? Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you in advance for all contributions. Seriously, you guys keep me going. You guys have been so supportive recently. I really appreciate it. Let's have a great stream today. Speaking of which, Alfred Aponte, I'm serious about that. I do show that someone tipped me in your name 10 minutes ago, and I need to confirm that it's real because it says it's unverified. I don't know if this is really you or not. So, Alfred, if you're here, please tag me and let you know if this is really you or not. If not, I'm going to probably have to refund it. Do you see? This is a perfect example. I might have to refund a tip now because I don't know if it's real or not. Okay? All right. Gaming news. We already talked about the Nintendo Direct that's happening today. You already know my thoughts about that. Outside of that, I think there was... Damn, I can't remember what it was. I'm pretty sure there was one other piece of information. There was one other piece of information that was a big update on a game, and now I can't remember what the hell it was. Anyone remember any other game release news or anything? Snowcurl says, if you can't remember, is it worth talking about? Probably. Dude, my brain is like Swiss cheese. Expand Dong says, what about the Xbox accessibility stuff? You're right. So Xbox has committed to an accessibility initiative. If you remember, it was like a year or two ago where they said they were going to make that very special adaptive controller for people with disabilities to try to make it so that people with disabilities could play games that normally they couldn't. And now Xbox has committed to an initiative where they want to make their games more accessible than ever. In fact, they have certain criteria within their own game studios that they own now to make sure that the games that they're pumping out have accessibility things that have to be basically reached as part of the development goal. That's huge, because I hate to say it, accessibility in a lot of cases is just an afterthought. They make the main game, and then if we can make it accessible to some people who have, you know, handicaps or whatever, great, but that's not a big deal. Now it seems like a lot of these companies are finally starting to take accessibility seriously, and they're trying to integrate that into the actual game development process instead of having it be an afterthought. That is exceptionally good. There is absolutely no reason that people who have a disability should not be able to enjoy a video game like all of us. All right? Let's be honest here. It's not a giant, demanding physical activity. It should be something that everyone could sit around and have a good time with. And the fact that there's so many major games out there that today cannot be played by people who have a disability is ridiculous. It should be accessible. It should be something that's thought of during the development process, right? So this is great news. Now, I didn't read too much further into it, and I don't necessarily 100% know to what extent this will actually be fulfilled with my Xbox, but the fact that Xbox has bought so many studios to develop games under their wing, and, you know, we've been saying this for the longest time, now that Xbox Series S and X are out, that they're going to have a ton of first-party games within the next few years here popping out for the consoles. If they all have great accessibility features, this will be absolutely excellent. So, hopefully, they actually live up to their commitment, and this isn't just a bunch of PR fluff. I hope, you know, but this is good news. This is great news. Okay. So, Alfred Aponte, I see you're here now. I just want to confirm, Alfred, that was you that tipped me. Did you tip me this morning? If not, someone's impersonating you, and I need to shut them down. So that's what I need to know. Is this you who tipped me this morning? Because it is showing as an unverified tip. And so I want to make sure that this is really you and not someone impersonating you. Sadly, I had a lot of impersonators here on Monday night. A lot. Like, no exaggeration. There's people coming in and trying to impersonate a ton of different people. So I need to make sure this is really you. And if not, I got to put the kibosh on it. Okay. Outside of that, there's not much else really to talk about. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to move into shoutouts for those who've contributed so far and go from there. All right? Okay. So, scrolling all the way down. Damn, I gotta scroll way down. Okay. So, we start off this morning with Phantasy Star PG, who did several different cheers. Alright, he started off with a 50-bit cheer. He said, so you're playing for yeah, boy. You know what? Since I just failed so miserably, I'm going to put his name on the leaderboard first. that was, I couldn't even read. Pretty embarrassing. As you can tell, I'm getting long in the tooth. I'm getting older. And I'm losing my faculties. I'm losing my wits. And can't even read anymore. Alright, so anyway. Phantasy Star PG cheered and said, I saw maybe you're playing your first PS5 disc game soon. Personally, I've been avoiding using the disc drive until the PS5 becomes replaceable. I heard a lot of stories of the first main stock of PS5s not being able to read a disc or eject a disc. Well, chances are... Oh, Alfred Aponte confirmed that's him. Cool, thank you, Alfred. Alfred, if there is any way to get your account verified, I'd appreciate that. So that way I don't have to do this every time you tip. But thank you for the tip. I appreciate that. We'll give it a shout out once I get to it in the queue here. Thank you. Okay. Now, in regards to the PS5, first of all, I didn't even plan on getting the disc version. This was something that happened because I could not get the discless version. And now that I've gotten it, immediately within the first few months, I'm getting a benefit from it. So I guess maybe this was all for the best. It all works out, right? Every single launch console has issues. Seriously. Every single launch console has issues. I remember a bunch of Xbox 360s had issues with the discs where the disc drive would break within like a week of buying the new console. And the problem with that one, just like the PS5, was that Xbox 360s were not readily available until like almost the middle to second half of the year after its release. They were that much in demand where you just had to wait forever and they weren't readily coming to stock anywhere. So that being said, I'm not afraid that my disc drive is gonna fail. If it fails, big deal. I'll just have to fucking do something else, right? But no, I'm not worried. I'm not gonna not use my disc drive because there's a chance it might not work. That's like saying, well, I'm not gonna eat this jar of peanut butter because there's a 0.00000000001% chance that there's arsenic in it. You know? No. I paid for it. I'm going to use it. I'm going to enjoy it. And hopefully we'll all reap the benefits. Now, Phantasy Star PG cheered again and said, do you see Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart has a possible tech... Oh, wait. Do you see it as a possible tech demo? For a CGI Pixar-style game like Kingdom Hearts 4, we're looking on current gen, but fast travel if Square has a mechanic that'll let Sora instantly move. What? What? That doesn't even sound like the same thought. Hold on a second here. Do you see Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart as a possible tech demo for not only how a CGI Pixar-style game like Kingdom Hearts 4 will looking on current gen, but also fast travel if Square has a mechanic that'll let Sora instantly move between worlds? Good lord. So I think what he's saying is, can you imagine if you were playing Kingdom Hearts, but like this game, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, you could make dimensional tears where you could go between the Toy Story world and the Aladdin world and the Lion King world and the Frozen world, and you could just jump between the worlds on the fly. I mean, that could be cool. It's never happened before. That would be really cool, though, right? Yeah. Is it a tech demo? I mean, yeah, to some extent it probably will be. They want to show you what you could do with the SSD and what you could do with this next-gen processing technology. So it might actually be one of the most interesting and innovative games so far on PlayStation 5. That doesn't mean it's going to be bad or anything. You know, I'm actually very excited for this game in June. Was it June 11th? Yes. So there you go. Storlax cheered, and he said, March 18th, Avengers gets its PlayStation 5 and next-gen console upgrade with more story-driven content. Ah, very timely release there. I'm sure everyone's really excited to play more Avengers at this point. Are you going to check out the updated version and play through the new campaign stuff with the DLC, as well as the last DLC you missed? Could be something for 1 or 2 streams, or just night content. I'm not putting any more money into the game. So if any of this content is paid for content, the answer is absolutely not. Okay? If it's simply, okay, you can continue where you left off and there's free new story-based content and new free character, yes, maybe I would do it. Because what I could do is just re-download the game on PS5. The cloud save's already there, so I can just integrate the cloud save and continue where we left off and do the new content with the new character or whatever. I mean, yeah, and it would be cool to see how it looks on PS5, because one of my complaints about Marvel's Avengers, was that it had frame rate issues. During, you know, points of very high combat, the frame rate would plummet. That's not good. A game where it's based on combat and cooperative things where you need to help each other and do things in a timely manner, action-based combat, you don't want the game's frame rate to dip, and it does. But that was PS4 Pro. Maybe on PS5 the thing will run at 60 frames and look gorgeous. I don't know. Or I guess we could find out. But yeah, let me put it this way. I'll consider it, especially because it's free. I'll consider it. But I'm not going to commit to it, only because we don't know what's going to be happening in March yet. You guys might want to see other stuff. We'll see. But I would say, yeah, it's a consideration, especially because if it's only going to be like a couple streams worth of content, then maybe we'll do it. Okay? All right. Shout out to Guitar Player 1939 with the first tip of the day, $5 tip, and he says, I have power now. Alrighty then. Now, you may think that maybe he came across the Cosmic Cube, or maybe he found, you know, the Sword of Eternia, and he's raising it above his head and saying, I have the power. But in reality, I know that Guitar Player is actually talking about the giant power outages they've been having in Texas, and some people have been without power for days, and it sounds like he finally got power back. So congratulations, Guitar Player, on getting your power back. A lot of people in Texas are apparently freezing during this insanely crazy, this cold snap that's been going on, the polar vortex, which is the reason why they lost their power. I heard stories of people having to drive across the entire state to sit with family who also don't have power, but they're going there because that family has a big fireplace so they can actually warm the family with no power. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy, man. So, I wish them all the best. I wish everyone the best in Texas during this crisis. Thank you, Guitar Player, for the tip. Snow Carl Cheery says, do you think that Ask the King has run its course since you essentially have Asked the King daily during the show? Snow Carl, we just talked about this. You're literally asking a question that I already posed on the stream. Liza for Soul Cheery says, can we ask the hard-hitting questions during Ask the King? Like, who's your favorite waifu from back in the day? Or you ass and titties guy? No. And I already timed him out because he already said this and something else really stupid. And I told him that's enough, and I timed him out. So, see, here's the thing with Lice for Soul. He thinks he can just get away with asking dumb shit constantly and annoying me. He can't. And he's already gotten timed out today. So if I see it again, he's just going to get banned at this point. I'm serious, too. Like, I don't care about his cheers at this point. He's so obnoxious with the shit that he says on the streams. And he's just fucking pissing me off, so I don't care. You want to push my buttons, you're going to get Das Boot. So I hope he understands that. Then he cheered and lied about playing Street Fighter 3 with me, which didn't happen. Snow Carl cheers. He says, we actually had a blizzard in Sweden today. My 2-hour one-way commute. I'm thinking about how you said the cat didn't go to work the other day when it snowed. Is it always like that, or is it when it's lots of snow? We never get snow. Unlike in Sweden, where snow is like a common thing. You guys get snow every day, right? Here, it's insanely rare in Washington State to get snow. The problem is, there's no infrastructure here to take care of the snow. So it snows 8 inches like it did the other day. That snow will not be cleared up for 2-3 days. And unless you have 4-wheel drive, you can't drive through it. If Kat had actually wanted to go to work on the days when it snowed, there was no way she would have gotten stuck in the snow. Our car is not a 4-wheel drive giant SUV. It's a little compact car. It doesn't have much power behind it. It would have gotten stuck in the snow, and there's nothing we could do about it, you know? And by the way, not just her, but almost everyone here during the weekend stayed home. We were actually advised by our local governments. They said, if you absolutely don't have to leave your house, don't. Stay home until the snow melts. So that way it gives us a little bit of extra time to have it taken care of. And the few trucks and things that they do have to go out there and plow limitedly and put out sand or salt, that they had time to do that. We were actually advised by our government, stay home during 8 inches of snow. Now, Kat is from Michigan, right? In Michigan, that's a ton of snow there. I'm from Connecticut. In Connecticut, there's always a ton of snow. So it's funny to us because when we actually see people freaking out about snow, we laugh. We're like, we used to drive in this shit all the fucking time. I mean, when in Connecticut, when I had that office job, I had to drive from my parents' house to the office. That was a good 2-3 mile drive through unplowed roads and everything. And I had to do it. I had to get to work, you know. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, get your ass to fucking work. So I did it. Of course, it was incredibly dangerous. There's a few times I flew into snowbanks. So, you know, you take a risk. But I'm used to doing that. Out here, no one ever went through that. So to them, like I said, they call it the snowpocalypse and shit. Like, snowpocalypse, this is like a normal day in Connecticut during the winter. They call it the snowpocalypse in Washington State. You know? But again, the difference is there's no infrastructure here to take care of it. In Connecticut, in Michigan, there's plows on the road the moment the snow hits, and they're clearing the roads, and they've got it all going so that people can get where they need to go. Not here. You know? We didn't have anyone come to our road here to plow it. It took 2 days and the rain and the warming temperatures, and then the snow melted itself naturally. So that's the difference. And if you don't live in a place like this, you wouldn't understand it. I didn't get that until I moved here. Now I see how people react and everything to it. You know, same thing with Texas. In Texas right now, this is the coldest it's like ever been. They don't know what to do. The power's going out. They don't even know how to remove snow. They don't know what's going on because they never had this before. It's the same thing. You know, when you're not used to it and you get freak weather that you don't usually have, how do you handle it, right? This isn't a normal day in Sweden where everyone's used to driving 2 hours in snow. It's a very different situation, okay? So there you go. Westside Rascal Charity said, I obtained a Switch. I'm looking for games. Any recommendations? Mario Odyssey is still my favorite Switch game. Super Mario Odyssey. But, you know, many good games I played over the years. Last year I played Fire Emblem. That was good. What was the Zelda game I played 2 years ago? It was the remake of the Link's Awakening. Yeah, Link's Awakening HD was really good. Definitely Luigi's Mansion 3 was an incredibly fun game. I'm trying to think the ones that I played because everyone would say, oh, what about Mario Kart and what about Breath of the Wild? I didn't play those on Switch. I played those on Wii U. Those are good games, but I'm not going to recommend you rebuy a game that's already on Wii U, you know. Pokemon, of course. If you like Pokemon, then obviously Pokemon Sword and Shield. Great game. I played the shit out of that one. Got a lot of content out of it. Some people are actually saying Mario X Rabbids. I liked Mario X Rabbids, but a lot of people might not like it if you don't like that kind of grid-based, turn-based combat system, strategic gameplay. But I really enjoyed the game. I thought it was great. Animal Crossing, if you want something relaxing and no skill required to play that game. A very, very good, fun, relaxing, chill time killer. I would say Animal Crossing. So there you go. There's some of my suggestions. Let's see here. Lies for Soul, cheers. We got 4 feet of sunshine today in California. Well, congrats on that. Westside Rascal, cheers. Do you think that snow in later months disproves climate change? Yes. The fact that currently in the United States we're going through an unprecedented cold snap that is completely not aligned with the normal climate that we would have, it completely disproves climate change. Yes. All right. Ansheng Forever has resubscribed for 19 months in a row and says, hey, Phil, you're a very good streamer. Thank you very much, Ansheng Forever. I appreciate that sentiment. Rob is back. Rob has tipped $20, says in the words of Paige, I'm back. Well, it's good to see you, Rob. I hope you're doing well. And I welcome you back to the streams. That is the biggest tip of the day. Let's get that up on the leaderboard. Thank you, sir, for the contribution, and welcome. My face itches. It's my mustache. My mustache itches. I don't know why it itches. Uh-oh. Do I have lice? Oh, God. Oh, my God. There's a centipede in my mustache. All right, no, there's not. Let's continue. Let's see here. Lies for Soul cheers, and hopefully people don't vote for another dumb game for morons. I don't know how Batman came in third last time. Dumb game for... Incidentally, I just take a look, and actually it's Dumb Game for Morons that's actually been the most nominated game so far this morning for the upcoming Viewer's Choice event. So, holy crap. You know, you better get on that. Dumb Game for Morons. Yes. If a game developer actually released a game called Dumb Game for Morons, do you think it would sell well? Just on the premise that they named it that? There you go. Alrighty, let's see here. Let's see here. Liza vs. Soul cheered again. He says, over-exaggerated sigh. Another timeout, I see. Yes, another timeout because you're acting like an idiot. That's what happens when you're acting like an idiot. You get timed out. You know, that's just part of the deal. You know? What do you think would happen? Do you think I'd be happy that you're acting stupid? That you're saying dumb shit? That you're violating the stream rules? That you're purposely pushing my buttons? Did you think I'd be, like, very excited? Okay. Lies for Soul cheered and says, Nintendo hasn't made an amazing game since Twilight Princess on the GameCube. Well, I mean, that is your opinion, obviously. I'm sure some people would completely disagree with you there. You know, I'm sure some people would say, absolutely not, that's ridiculous. Why would you say such a thing? So, I disagree as well. I do feel that they have made a better game since Twilight Princess. Although, admittedly, Twilight Princess is a great game. I did play the HD version on Wii U, and I enjoyed it. In fact, that's the only amiibo that I have or ever will have is the Twilight Princess amiibo. This is the only one I'll ever have in my life because I've never bought one. It came with Twilight Princess on the Wii U many years ago. And so this is the one that I've kept, and it's the only one that I have. It sits right over here on my desk here. And, yeah. There you go. That's it. It's the only one. Alrighty then. Continuing on. Lies vs. Soul cheered again. He said, Breath of the Wild is a horrible take on the series. If anything, it should be able to be called something else. Well, what they wanted to do, they wanted to change the series. They wanted to implement many different game, they wanted to implement game elements from other series. The open world exploration, parkour and climbing, gliding, and the fact that it's a giant open world that you can explore at any time. Not to say that you can access every part of it at every time, but the fact that it's a big open world, and if you see it, you can go to that part. You know what I mean? Other game companies have been doing stuff like this for many years. Oh, by the way, fast travel for the first time in Zelda. Besides, I guess, using the ocarina to summon the bird to pull you around and, like, Link to the Past. It's, like, full-on fast travel. Little backtracking because you can fast travel around. There's a lot of modernized things in Breath of the Wild that made it a very refreshing game. At the same time, I feel like some of the things were kind of weird. Like, the combat system just felt kind of weird to me compared to other modernized games. But I don't think it was a bad take. I think it was a different take. Snow Carl cheers. You criticize Cyberpunk daily for months for a lack of innovation. Why are you hyping Nintendo's 500th installment of their children's franchises that they make the same shit over and over? Well, if that were the case, I would criticize them. And in fact, if you remember, during the time when they kept making the same kind of Mario game, remember the New Super Mario Brothers, New Super Mario Brothers Wii, New Super Mario Brothers Wii U, New Super Mario Brothers 3DS, New Super Mario Brothers Game Boy Advance, New Super Mario Brothers Virtual Boy. I was like, come on, there's like 12 of these. It's the same game over and over. It really does feel like the same game. Why do they keep making the same game? And I did criticize them back then. But the thing is, Nintendo, even though it's the same franchise, they tend to innovate. So, for example, take a look at New Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario 3D World, and Super Mario Odyssey. They're all different. They're all very different, actually. They feel like completely different gameplay experiences. So, even though, yes, it's the same franchise, admittedly, they have some differences to them. You can't argue that Breath of the Wild plays like Ocarina of Time. It doesn't. So how dare you say such a ridiculous thing? Liza sold at 105-bit cheer, and he said it's Super Mario 3D World time. Yes. In fact, it is in just a few minutes here when I finish with shoutouts. But thank you, Liza for Soul. 105 bits is the top cheer of the day so far. Retro Jim cheers. Are you nervous about starting Divinity after so much anticipation? No, I'm not nervous at all. I don't have any nervousness to me whatsoever. For me, it's interesting. It's intriguing that people wanted me to play this game, waited a long time, and now we're finally getting to it. I'm curious to see what it's going to be. The game should be nervous that I'm going to play it, because you know what happens. The game should be more nervous than me. Lives vs. Soul just cheered and said, don't play Divinity Original Sin, it's a detractor game. No, it's not. Astro Lady Maria cheered and said, Guilty Gear Beta comes out later tonight. It runs through the weekend. Haven't seen you play a new fighter since Grand Blue last year. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've been debating this week if I wanted to check it out. I'll be honest with you. I don't think so, and here's why. A couple reasons. First of all, I'm really focused on getting done with fucking Assassin's Creed at this point. I need it over with, you know? I really need to complete it. And then I want to start Divinity. Like, those are my focuses right now. Guilty Gear is definitely a series that has longevity. This series has been out since, I believe, I want to say either the late 90s or early 2000s. I can't remember exactly when it actually first released. But back then, you know, it had a dedicated fan base. It was part of the big competitive fighting game community. I remember going and seeing it at EVO and the like, you know. I respect people who are good at Guilty Gear because that actually is a game that is tough to play at a competitive level. I tried to do it myself and I was very frustrated. I couldn't do it because there were so many different mechanics, things you had to learn. But I enjoyed seeing it being played at a competitive level. I had appreciation for it, but I just don't think I'm going to be, you know, jumping into it. Just being honest here. It seems to me like I would have to dedicate an incredible amount of time. It's hilarious because I see people on Twitter. Oh my god, you see that Soul Bad Guy doesn't have this gameplay mechanic, but they give it to a different character, and now people are salty because Soul Bad Guy always had that gameplay mechanic, and it made him such a good character. I'm like, whoa, what? I don't even know what that gameplay mechanic is. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Great. Now I'm supposed to freaking understand, you know? It just seems to me like it's going to be a game that if I tried to play it, it would be such an investment of time and learning. And quite frankly, two reasons why I don't want to do that. Number one, because I'm a variety streamer. And if I'm dedicating 2, 3, 4 streams a week just to Guilty Gear to try to get into it, a lot of people would not be interested in that. And in addition to that, you know, I'm just not sold by the franchise. I know I've never been good at it. It would be like me trying to start from scratch. I don't really want to dedicate a ton of time to a fighting game franchise that I don't know if I'm going to even get into or if it was going to pay off. It might not even catch on with viewers and no one will care, you know? So, I don't know. I just don't think I'm going to be doing it. I mean, things could change. People could convince me otherwise. Maybe when the thing is out, everyone's like, oh my god, didn't you hear it's like the best fighting game in like 20 years? And it's kicking, everyone's blown away by how good it is. I can't believe you're not playing the best fighting game. I'm like, okay, maybe then I'll check it out. But, I don't know. I'm just not getting that vibe from it, you know? Turgid Banana cheered and says, don't discriminate on Jasper. Okay, I never have. So I've confirmed this is a real tip from Alfred Aponte. $17.50 tip. He says, Phil, my dude, hope you're doing well. I hope you will do another DSP Tries It soon. All right, so this is up to $42 in tips. Now, as for another DSP Tries It, we just did one, right? We just did one. And it was the stuffed crust pizza from Papa John's, which was incredibly good, by the way. I really liked it. Will I be doing another one anytime soon? Likely not. Usually we only bring back DSP Tries It for special events. So the next time we do like a special event, like a marathon or something, maybe we'll do one. But for right now, I don't have any plans for one. Okay? Luke Wheeler's cheered. He said, was your dorm in college the party room? Was the long story you told at an FGC event in a hotel all true about girls' boyfriends showing up at your place looking for you? Why do people keep bringing this up? This is a story that I told a long time ago. All right? Like 10 years ago. The story, to my knowledge, is true. The story is incredibly outdated. It has nothing to do with me today. So, Luke Wheelers, here's what I will say. All right? Go back to your Detractor V stream where they like to bring up shit from 100 years ago. And go circle jerk with all your little fucking hater friends, your little loser virgins, who are just going to sit there and talk about nonsense. All right? That's not what my stream is about. And you can take your 100 bits, you can shove them up your fucking ass. How about that? Turgid Banana just cheered. He says, you're welcome for us allowing you to do what you do. You are further allowed daddy. What the fuck are you talking about that? Alright. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, thank you for that Anonymous for a cheer as well. I don't even know what this means either. So I'm just going to move on. Let's see here. Lies for Soul Cheery says, I've been a fan since 2009. I cannot make a PayPal because I'm 12. No, you're not. You're a liar. You're an absolute liar. Okay. Let's see here. The Man of Orange just did a 100-bit cheer. And he says, sorry, I can't tip. I'm only 10. And that's a lie, too. That's also a lie. Complete lie. Turgid Banana cheered again. He said, I heard putting tips as friends and families protects from chargebacks. That is, actually, that's absolutely incorrect. We've already talked about that. I'm just going to get rid of this guy, too. I'm just going to get rid of a bunch of people. Let's just get rid of all these idiots. Ban, let's get rid of this guy. Let's get rid of all the people that we know are watching, you know, restreamers and shit. So that way we don't have to deal with their bullshit today, right? Here we go. Fuck off. Okay. Lies for Soul Cheers, if people tried to impersonate me, or am I not that cool? Actually, no, absolutely no one has actually tried to impersonate you, Lies for Soul. Sorry. Snow Carl, no, that's not true. He cheered, he says, if more games are made to be accessible to people with handicaps, would gameplay suffer? No, because those are modes that are optional. You can have a core gameplay experience that's designed around people who want to play at the default experience, and then you can add on the features for accessibility. For example, right? Last of Us 2. Very interesting game when it comes to the gameplay mechanics. I actually enjoyed the implementations of some new things in the game. And if you play it on the hardest difficulty, it's very, very challenging. Very challenging, right? Now, the game has all these accessibility features, right? So let me ask you something. Just because the game has a sonar feature built in for people who have, you know, issues with their sight, does that mean that the game is too easy for other people? No, just don't turn on the sonar. You know what I mean? Like, you can have games that have accessibility features that turn on or off. They don't all have to be on by default. If there was a game where all of a sudden there was a million features that made the game way too easy by default, that's different. These are all optional things you could turn on to help people who need help with accessibility. Okay? So, no. And in fact, the question is incredibly ignorant, actually. All you need to do is do about 10 seconds of research. You realize that what you're saying is ludicrous. But sadly, this is the get good mentality of the internet. People who are just so dumb and uneducated that they feel that just because an accessibility feature is put into a game that's optional, it somehow dumbs down the core game. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't at all. That's a stupid thing to say. Brownie Crab and Shits just cheered and said, I heard a story. Oh, here we go again. All right, you're out of here. You're out of here. This is great because now I exactly know who's watching the restreamers. It just makes it very easy for me. When you all parrot the same thing at once and it's completely unrelated to anything I'm saying on the stream, it just means you're all watching the same stream. So I know I have to ban you immediately because you're a fucking moron. It's great. So please, by all means, continue doing it so I know who to ban. This is excellent work. Excellent work. Outstanding. You make my job a lot easier, actually. Okay. Super Scuba 06 has gifted a subscription to Wasted Cherry Juice. Okay, Wasted Cherry Juice. I don't know why it's wasted, but alright, congrats on the sub. Frog in the Party Hat just cheers, says big ups to mods keeping the chat in order, and then he says the two real mods, Anonymous and Kingoken, and then makes a joke about Hallelujah He Reigns, which isn't funny. So, shut up. Spawn Killer $50 says, when are you going to do your other countdowns? I said you were going to do. I didn't say I was going to do any other countdowns. I said I was interested in the possibility of maybe doing something such as a best of the generation countdown or worst of the generation countdown, but that it would depend on time. Considering that it took me a month into 2021 to even do my Game of the Year awards, obviously time was not in my favor. That certainly does not mean that I won't actually do it sometime this year if things slow down for games and I have time to do it, but right now it's not a concern. Lies for Soul cheered again. Says, my cheers proof if I was in a Jerry Springer live audience and was given the mic, I'd probably say something. Yeah, you would say something insanely stupid. I mean, that's what you are. You're acting insanely stupid. Constantly on the streams. Constant stupidity from Lies for Soul. Timble Slice cheers says, Microsoft announced today they are starting to put updates out for last-gen games. Oh, I saw this. Yeah, basically what they're working on, it's a new initiative where Microsoft wants older games to run better on their consoles. So, with this initiative, what they're trying to do is make older games run at up to 120 frames per second on the Xbox Series S and X. I mean, that's cool and all. I don't think any game really needs 120 frames, but to see older games that maybe have only run in 20 or 30 frames to run at 60 or higher is going to be pretty interesting, quite frankly. Now, obviously, I'm curious what games will be supported and what games won't. Will there be games from the past that are classics that people love and want to go back and now replay them on an Xbox console because they're going to look so much better? Maybe, right? Pretty interesting. Timbo Slice Cheery says, it's not just people without power in Texas. There's people whose pipes are freezing and flooding homes. 20 people already died from the cold in the South. It's very sad. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a freak thing, this polar vortex going that far south. It never goes that far south. Texas has no infrastructure to defend against this kind of climate change. They're not expecting insanely cold, frigid weather out of nowhere when it's never hit them before. And that's what happens, sadly. So I'm sorry to hear that. I hope things get better for them soon. Westside Rascal Cheers said, it's crazy. I didn't know you flew into snowbanks. That must have been scary. Oh, it's been many times. I've been driving and you just lose traction. There's nothing you can do and your car just goes whoop right off the road into a snowbank. And you got to dig the fucking car out. It's a pain in the ass. Super Scuba 06 tipped me $1. Said I gifted you a sub. Did you miss it? I did not. In fact, I did shout it out. Thank you, Super Scuba, for the gifted sub and now for $1 tip. I appreciate that. Local Nomad did a 200-bit cheer. He says, you think modern remasters like Mass Effect are banking on gamers' nostalgia? BioWare could have added and cut content, rebuilt the games on Unreal Engine 4 and went all out. I get it's a remaster and not a remake. Just kind of disappointed, to be honest. You're going to see these. Because there's demand for them. That's the thing. If there wasn't demand for these, there wouldn't be made. And you know, you wouldn't have resources put into them. But it's obvious with a series like Mass Effect, okay? Here's a series that, for the longest time, a whole console generation, Mass Effect and BioWare were seen as being the top of the top of the pyramid, the cream of the crop, right? BioWare was seen as a huge AAA developer that could do no wrong. And Mass Effect was seen as the franchise that pushed RPG elements, narrative, and sci-fi into the stratosphere. Oh my god, I can't believe how good of a series Mass Effect is, right? So, then, what happened? Mass Effect Andromeda. Huge flop, game, sucked shit, terrible handling of it and everything. And Mass Effect has effectively been dead now for many years since Andromeda sucked so hard. So, there's been a clamor for the original games to be re-released on these new consoles so they look good. I mean, we haven't had a Mass Effect in 2 console generations since, for the original trilogy. Andromeda was on PS4. It was terrible. So, that's why this is happening. People want it. It's not just because, they're just trying to make a quick buck. People are asking for it. And in addition to that, the fact that we know they are developing a new Mass Effect game, this kind of satiates the craving for more Mass Effect, right? This year, people will be playing the entire trilogy back in this collection. It'll give them something to do until another couple of years, probably when the new game comes out, right? Now, would it have been nice for them to rebuild the entire games from the ground up? Yes. And if they did that, they probably wouldn't have the resources to make the new Mass Effect game. I would much rather have the new Mass Effect than rebuilding these classics from the ground up. So, that's my take. Westside Rascal cheered and said, I told you to buy the amiibo. Okay. That Anonymous cheer says, no lie, check viewer's choice. The most nominated game is some weeaboo garbage visual novel where every character is a minor with a mandatory romance. Then I'm not doing it. Like I said, that's why I allow myself to have some discretion when it comes to games that are nominated for these events. If it's some bullshit game that's fucking stupid, doesn't fit in with my content, and I'm not interested in, I'll eliminate it. And that's fine, because that's one of the cool things about being a content creator is that I ultimately have control over what I do on my streams. So I don't want to deal with that stupid shit. We'll see what happens. I don't even know what you're talking about. Super Scuba cheers says, I gifted a sub and tipped earlier. Well, thank you, Super Scuba. Let's see here. Prepare for the meet cheers says, do you think starting a Discord server where only your biggest contributors can join? And that's all I'm reading. That's enough of that. Move on to the next. That's the stupid thing I heard. Very stupid. Eternal Napalm cheers says, the next viewer's choice won't be an 80-hour RPG, but an 80-hour visual novel. He said, I were to nominate a lengthy RPG, it would be Resonance of Fate. It's a gem you never touched. Very nice. I don't know if it'll be a visual novel or not, but if it's something I'm not interested in, I'm not doing. So, nice try wasting your time over there with nominations of something you guys know I'm not going to play. Mythical Cheer says, Guilty Gear's the best fighter in 20 years. People are raving about it. You're going to seriously miss a huge opportunity here. He just copied exactly what I just said. Rick Steve's Europe Cheer, he says, you always say the Silvano thumb holds you back when playing games. I bet ladies never complained about it. I don't even know how that would apply. It's pretty stupid. Westside Rascal just cheered. He says, seeing as how you have a lot of disabled viewers, you think you should include a captions plugin. As I stated, if there was one that was commonplace that was used and would be beneficial to my viewers, I would consider doing it. I'm not aware of that. Nor has anyone who's actually been a disabled viewer of mine recommended that I use it. Okay? They don't even have captions like that are commonplace for YouTube, to my knowledge, right? Like, people have to submit captions. It's not something that's by default. People would actually have to submit captions for a video, I think. All right, Tentacle 2070 is here, and it's sent me $10 today. He says, you're my hero. I love your videos. Keep it up. Watching Fallout 3 playthrough again on YouTube right now. How are you and the family doing? I love you, man. Thank you very much. We're doing well. And I'm definitely excited for a Mario stream today. Should be a good time. Thank you, Technical. And that actually pushes us past the halfway point of the tips goal for today already, which means today we will be starting off with the Gunner Glasses when we get to gameplay. Very nice. Thank you, Technical, for the support. Thank you to everyone who's tipped so far. Baldy cheers. Are you a fan of Ludacris, the rapper from the South? He's my favorite rapper of all time. Eternal Napalm cheers. Says, I'm close to finally putting on the trigger. I'm buying a Switch. How's Nintendo Pro Controller? Is Super Mario Odyssey really that good? The Pro Controller is absolutely great for everything you need except the D-pad. The D-pad, at least for the first slew of Pro Controllers, was faulty. It was 100% proven to be faulty. A lot of people bought that pad to play Street Fighter, and it sucks. It doesn't work. It's actually completely faulty. You press back, forward, and it gives you down, up, and shit. So the D-pad blows. But everything else on the controller is great. The weight, the battery life, the vibration feature, the thumbsticks, the reaction of the buttons and everything is great. It's just the D-pad that's a piece of shit. Now, I don't know if they fixed it. I have the Model 1 Pro Controller. They very well, over time, may have actually fixed it. But I still have the old one that's not fixed. So. Alright. And by the way, yes, I do feel Super Mario Odyssey is that good, but that's my take. Some people didn't like it. I thought it was amazing. Retro Jim Cheers says, do you think Waluigi will ever get his own game? No. Prepare for the meat. Cheers says, you think do you talk to your neighbors when I go in and out of the condo? No, what I do is when I go out of the condo, I wear a full body hazmat suit. So if anyone sees me, they immediately think that I'm contagious and they stay away from me. Yeah, there you go. It's like I dress up like I'm in Among Us when I leave my house, and then no one talks to me. That's how I handle it. It's great. I don't have to be bothered by anyone. Shout out to Ladiesman2166 who just did a 1,000-bit cheer and said, how you doing? I just got here. What are we doing today? Today it is Mario 3D World. It should be fun. We're finishing up World 6, heading into 7. I'm still continuing my completionist run, meaning I'm trying to get every single collectible in the game to unlock the additional stages and things that I did not do during my original playthrough 8 years ago. So we'll see how that goes. It should be fun. Jack Elise is here and has gifted us up to Habib Gaming. Congrats, Habib Gaming, and thank you, Jack Elise, for the support. Mythical Cheers says, I nominated No Man's Sky for Viewer's Choice. I want to see you beat the game. There is no ending, is there? Did they actually add an ending to the game? Because I actually did, when I originally played the game, I saw what they considered the ending, which wasn't an ending. It just teleports you to another galaxy or whatever. I wonder if the game has a canon ending. Now, remember how Minecraft at one point never had an ending, and then they kind of added one with the Ender Dragon? Lies for Soul Cheers says, a lot of viewers have some sort of... Oh, here we go. Listen to this. I'm done now. He says, a lot of your viewers have autism. All right, you're out of here. That's it. I'm done. That's enough. You're out of here for good. Lies for Soul is gone. I've had enough of your fucking bullshit. Seriously, that's the straw that broke the camel's back. Now you're going to start making fun of fucking things like that. You think that's funny? Yeah, here's what's funny. You're shit-canned, bitch. That's what's funny. Ha 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 ha. Take your fucking bits and take them elsewhere, because I don't have to put up with your fucking bullshit anymore. You finally did it, dumbass. Noxiuna 2, by the way, he'll probably try to get unbanned as well. He'll probably try to ask to get unbanned and say he didn't mean it, and he can go fuck off. Noxiuna 2 cheers says, at this point you should pick a handful of games yourself and let viewers pick one of those for viewers' choice. You refuse to play what... Well, I don't refuse to play what people want to play all the time. I've played every single one. What the fuck are you talking about? Noxiuna 2, why are you defaming and slandering me on my own stream? I'm playing Divinity Original Sin 2 this week. I played Fire Emblem Three Houses last year. These are games that everyone said I wouldn't play, and I'm playing them. You are full of shit. Why are you talking shit? How about this? Fuck off. Hate Army General just did a 100-bit cheer. He says, the Hate Army is here to help you fight off these trolls. There's no such thing as the Hate Army. Okay. Now, shout out to the top cheers of the week, which don't include Lights for Soul anymore because he just got shit canned like the dumbass he is. All right. First of all, we got a 4-way tie between Bug Snacks Expert, Haseo Fifth Form, Snow Carl, and Timbo Slice. In 6th place, we got Ninstar Rune. In 5th place, we got Gimme Gimme Mo. In 4th place, we got Retro Jim. 3rd place, Prepare for the Meat. 2nd place, Ladies Man 2166. And in 1st place, The Paradox 988. Thank you guys for the cheers this week. Also, thank you to those who gifted subscriptions to the channel this week, including Jackalese and Super Scuba, who each gifted a single sub. Kate wow, how do you pronounce this? Berg Beckleman and Diocletian each gifted 2 subscriptions to the channel this week so far. Very nice. Okay. And now Prepare for the Meat is now banned permanently from the chat. Well, this is great. We're just getting rid of all the shitheads today. This is seriously great because we get them all gone and then we don't have to pay attention to them at all once I finally start the gameplay. This is actually a good way to start the week. We just basically flush the toilet. All those little floaters that won't leave us alone are getting flushed before we actually start with the gameplay. This is absolutely exciting. I'm very, very pleased with how this morning is going, quite frankly. So, I would much rather deal with this shit here on the pre-stream, seriously, than have to deal with it during the gameplay. So, thanks to all the morons for speaking up and getting banned early. Very exciting. Okay. Cyber Shadow did a 900-bit cheer. Thank you, Cyber Shadow, for the very generous cheer. I appreciate that. Old Yeller for the win just resubscribed for 8 months. Thank you for that. Ladies Man just cheered. He says, yeah, Ladies Man, alright. Seriously. It's fucked up, isn't it? It's fucked up how some people will bring up stuff and make jokes and stuff about people. It's fucked up. I agree with you. I 100% agree with people who are fucking say fucked up stuff like that, man. Tired of it. And that's why he's out of here. No, that's not to be joked about. He can go fuck himself. SPB Original tipped me $2. Said, I'm stuck in Texas. I don't have any water. I want to take a dump, but I have no toilet water. That sucks. So what are you doing? Are you, like, driving to somewhere that actually has water so you can take a dump? That's terrible. Taking a dump in the woods, maybe? Jesus. I heard it's so cold you probably can't take a dump in the woods. Your ass will probably freeze. It's like negative temperatures there, right? Jeez. Well, I hope things get better for you, SPB. I feel really bad for everyone in Texas who's going through this horrible thing, man. Random Game Roulette just cheers, says, do you think it would save money with an Xbox? Well, here's the thing. Ultimately, with Xbox Game Pass, yes, there's going to be a lot of savings in the long term. Short term, no, because really the newer games now aren't covered. It's going to be all these games that are going to be coming out under the Microsoft umbrella that are going to end up being covered by Xbox Game Pass. And, of course, there will be a ton of those eventually. Right now, there's, like, none, right? So, I say none. Probably there's a few. But the point I'm making is, no, even if I had an Xbox Series X right now and I had Game Pass, I'd still have to buy a bunch of games. It would be eventually when those first-party games are finally coming out, right, that finally there would be a benefit. I think long-term Game Pass will be great. Right now, unless you're looking to play a ton of old games, which I'm not, I don't really see the benefit of Game Pass in the short term. But in the long term, I think it will pay out for a lot of people. So. All right, Westside Rascal, I will see you later. Have fun with those errands. Wish you luck. Robot Wizard just cheers, says, good day. What did you have for breakfast? And shout out to Snow Carl. I had a bagel and iced coffee. Yes, plain bagel and iced coffee. And I'm wolfing it down, the bagel. And my wife goes, did you put anything on that bagel? I said, no, it's plain. And she says, why didn't you put anything on the bagel? Would you like some butter? I said, I would love some butter. She goes, why didn't you put it on? I said, I don't have time. I'm hurrying. I'm just, I came downstairs. Jasper was starving, so I filled his bowl with food because he had eaten it all overnight before he had gone to sleep. Changing stuff, running around, getting everything done. I pour myself an iced coffee. I've got like 10 minutes left before the stream has to start. So I toss a bagel in the toaster. I don't have time to butter that bagel. I don't have time to melt butter. I gotta wolf that. 3 bites. Humma, humma, humma. It's done. I'm out of here. That's my life. Okay, then. There you go. All right. Random Game Roulette Charity says, reason I brought it up, it seems like $20 for Divinity 2 is 2 months of Game Pass for 200 plus games. Yes, and how many of those 200 plus games am I actually going to play? You see the point? It depends on what games you want to play. Like I said, eventually, let's be very honest here. Eventually, you know I'm going to get an Xbox Series X. We all know this. I'm going to get it eventually. I don't know when I'm going to get it. In the long term, it could take a while to get it. But I'm going to get it eventually, right? When I finally have an Xbox Game Pass, an Xbox Series X, okay? And once all of these studios, all right, that are developing games exclusively for Microsoft start pumping out their games, then, boom, to get Game Pass, you get them all for the, what is it, $20 a month, $10 a month, whatever it is. That makes sense. To get Game Pass now, unless you're just going to sit there playing old games, it makes absolutely no sense. Out of all the games I'm playing right now, how many are under Game Pass? Let's think about this. Assassin's Creed? No. Mario? No. Call of Duty? No. Immortals? No. Actually, is Immortals? I don't think Immortals is. Maybe it is. Alright, but I don't think Immortals is. Fall Guys is already free for PlayStation Plus, so that's kind of a moot point. Most of them are not, right? Most of them are not under Game Pass. So, that's what I mean. If I had Game Pass right now, I would not be using it at all. It would be just pissing money away. You see? I understand what you're saying long term. Long term, absolutely. There will be a benefit. But right now, to me, there's no benefit. So. Okay. Technical 2070 tipped me another $5. Thank you, Technical. That gets us up to $61 in tips today now. Thank you. Oops. $61 in tips. Thank you very much. Okay. Robot Wizard Chewed again. He said, Phil, what are we doing for a birthday stream coming up? How about Cooking with the King and the sauce recipe? That's the furthest thing from my mind. That's about 2 months away. I got a long way to go between then and now. I don't really plan that far ahead for stuff. I just don't. I don't have time. I'm so busy with some other shit. You know, right now, I got all the cool streams coming up in the next couple of weeks into the next month. Oh, man. Behind the scenes, I'm super busy with personal stuff in my life. You know, it's tax time of the year and all that shit. So I'm not worried about my birthday right now. We'll get to that when we get to it. Eternal Napalm Charity says, you said flush the floaters who won't leave us alone. I was drinking iced tea and I laughed so hard it sprayed out in a mist. Enjoy these modest bits. Thank you very much, Eternal Napalm. You gotta flush the floaters. You don't want those staying around. Those are disgusting. Alright. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our break. Time for me to use the restroom. Alright. We'll come back. It's the continuation of Super Mario 3D World. Should be exciting. And, again, looking forward to seeing how far I can get with the completionist run. Thank you in advance for a great stream. You've already been a great audience. We've already got to ban a bunch of shitheads as well. It's like doubling up. Pretty good. So, good stuff, and I shall see you after the break. All right, guys? I take an opportunity, grab a drink or a snack, use the restroom yourself, whatever you need to do in the next few minutes, and I'll be back with Mario shortly. All right.